Greetings and welcome to MentorMe Memorable Moments. How are you doing? I am so excited to be with you tonight. Although I am not in the studio, Barry and I are not in the studio. We are still live. This is not pre-recorded. So you are on the set of MentorMe Memorable Moments, the financial health program, and I am your host, Tracy everette-duncan. And with me is my co-host, Barry Perkison, and we call him a.k.a. Wall Street. Are you there, Barry?
Yes, I am. I appreciate you, Tracy.
Well, look, tonight we've got a couple of things that we want to talk to you about. And so, we're not going to take too much time with the introductions, but we do want to say hello to 150 nations and all 50 states. Welcome to WLVS Radio. You are viewing us through listenvisionlive.com or MentorMe411.com. MentorMe411.com. But look, let's talk about this disclaimer first, because we're going to be giving you some information, and we don't want you to think that we are advising you at all in your financial matters. We are giving you some recommendations and some suggestions, things that we have tried and worked for us, as well as things that we know the industry is moving towards that will probably be a great idea for you. So our disclaimer is we are not recommending any financial advice. Trading is risky, and you can lose your entire investment. This is shared as information purposes only, okay? So next slide, please. I want to talk to you about a penny here, a penny there, being creative with your savings and your investment. Next slide, please. Because I know when we sit down in this economy, we say, hey, look, I don't have any money to save. You're talking about all this saving. I'm just trying to get by, skimp by skimp by skimp. But, yeah, you do. You really do. If you really want to save some dollars, you can make that happen. And I'm going to show you how you have dollars or coins right there in front of you, and you just really haven't taken the time to look. So first, let me just define again what a financial crisis is. And if you missed our program last month, it's a great time to go and look at that too, because we talked about all the bubbles that popped and caused economic disasters. So I just want to refresh your memory for those that have joined us last month, that a burst in the stock market or a default of a country or a crash of a currency is considered a financial crisis. It destroys financial health of many investors and causes institutions to lose credibility in the eyes of people. So you may have investments right now, and your investment could be that I'm going to put $5 away in my savings account, my bank account, my credit union account, whatever account it is that you decided on, you're putting $5 away a month in that account, but it's not yielding very much rate of return, and you think that you're losing money. Well, some of the decisions that we make could be, in fact, the wrong decision, not the best decision for us to go with, but it doesn't mean that you have really, truly lost something. It was a lesson learned. You'll never do it again, or you'll wait until the economy increases or gets better. But for right now, maybe it's not that best decision. And just like companies do investments, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, and if they're not selling or people are not buying, then they lose money too. Next slide, please. Okay, so we talked last month about signs of a bubble burst. And we mentioned that the first recorded bubble burst happened in the 1600s, and it had to do with this tulip that everyone wanted. It was a beautiful, striking tulip, but eventually because of the demand and not enough of it, people just realized, why am I paying the cost of a house to purchase a tulip bulb? And so they've gotten rid of those things. The prices dropped, causing the tulips of the economy to crash, and so that sent everyone into a tailspin, not only just families, but businesses too. And then we talked about in the 1930s, the Great Depression, where the banks crashed. There was a run on the bank, give me my money. Well, your money really isn't in the bank because the bank invested your money, and so the banks crashed as well. In the 1970s, our dollars changed because our president decided to take gold off the list and give us paper currency instead called fiat. And so when the fiat dollar came into place, it wasn't worth as much as the gold anymore. So I think Wall Street, did we say that the dollar now is worth even less than 50 cents?
Absolutely. The dollar is less than 50 cents. But the biggest thing is when it comes to taking the money off the gold standard is that the countries around the world determine what our dollar is worth, right? Right now, today, our dollar is going up against all other currencies in the world. So right now, our dollar is at 101 basis points. Now, for you and I, that don't mean anything because we use dollars. But for everybody else that use our dollars or want our dollars, their currency is down. For example, if you go to look at the euro is trading at 105 now. It was at 139, 115, 109. Now it's at 105. So it takes $1.05 to get 1 euro. Wow. And they are panicking, guys. Let me tell you what's going on right now. I'm going to add this to it. Right now, the world is saying what's going on with all these economies that are going down in value. So what is this? How is this going to affect you in the United States? One main thing is it's going to be harder for us to ship out our goods to the world. Why? Because it's costing them a lot more money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead, Tracy. Turn it back over.
Okay. All right, because we're going to put a plug in that because we're going to talk a little bit more about that, too. But in the 1980s, I'm sure you remember that there was a savings and loan that caused the crash of the economy as well. I mean, blocks and blocks of homes were just set there empty because people could not afford to buy any homes or keep up the mortgage on those homes. The interest doubled. It was just not a good thing. I remember that time. But then in the 1990s, we look at the tech.com. That's when everybody wanted to have a business. Everybody wanted to increase their wealth, and the world was getting smaller because of the Internet. So there were a lot of investments that were lost when that dot-com crashed. And along with the dot-com crash, we had the financial industry crashing because they did these investments. I remember losing a lot of money during that time and could not get a hold of my investor to tell him to stop the bleeding. So we all lost during that time.
That's one thing that happens in the financial market is that once it affects the individual, it's too late. You can't get it. You can't get your hands on it. The bank's already closed. The broker houses are not answering the phone. These things are going to happen when a real meltdown comes.
Yes, and it's coming. It's coming. So when we look at the next slide, we see that the bubble continued in the millennium, where there again was a great recession and a loss of homes. It's like everything that we suffered with previously was all rolled up to this millennium. People with investments, people with savings, people with homes. I mean, you name it, just a great loss in a recession. So supposedly we have been on this upturn and perhaps things have been getting better. You know, we'll talk about that some more because it's like a seesaw event. But we talked about what next, what could possibly cause another bubble. And so we delved into the currency change and all the different mini currencies out there. But again, take a look at our previous video, and it will help you understand exactly what this series is going to be like for the next few months. Let's turn to the next slide because we may be heading for another recession quite faster than we think. And I really don't like to put a date or time event on my programs because I want you to be able to see them at any time during any year or century. But this one I have to put a time stamp on because we just completed the election. And with all the turmoil that's going on in the streets, the rioting, you know, that's causing a lot of damage, billions of dollars in damage to businesses and
Your input is invalid.
They can. But also having a president coming in where the nations that have done business a different way for the past 4, 8, 12, 16 years are now having to do a turn and do business his way. So we're going to see a lot of flux in the business environment. We no longer in the United States produce what we need to sustain ourselves. So everything is outsourced. If we have to buy it, and when they deploy it into the United States, it's costing us more. And Wall Street, I even read an article where we now, according to new federal policy, have to raise our chickens, slay our chickens, but package them and send them to another foreign country so that they can repackage them and send them back to the United States for purchase.
That doesn't make sense at all, does it?
No, it doesn't. But a lot of our produce, a lot of the things that we are farming in the United States are being outsourced, and they do whatever they need to do with it and give it back to the United States very extensively.
I think that's probably one of the main reasons why President-elect Trump got picked up, because of the way he wants to bring jobs back to the United States. He wants to. Yes. He's looking at the United States as a big business, which it is.
Yes.
So he wants to run it like a business and stop making stupid mistakes and start bringing things in. So, I believe that was really the biggest point that he stressed that people loved, and that's probably the way he got into the seat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when we're looking at, 3 reasons for the economy failing, I know you can come up with more than 3, 10, 15, but I want to look at the top 3 reasons right now, and that is Americans are not spending much. January 2016, consumer confidence was at 93%, and even 6 to 8 months before then, it was at 96%. And so we're beginning to not feel so good about our dollars being spent out there in the community, because we don't know if another economic crash is going to happen when we wake up in the morning. And so with that, we're holding on to our dollars. I don't know what this holiday season is going to look like. I don't know if spending is going to be up, hoping that at least I can get one more good Christmas in. I have no idea. I just know that it's dropping.
Yes, and also, people's jobs, there's still a lot of recession going on. Matter of fact, one of the members just joined me a couple of weeks ago, just got laid off. They laid off 300 people from her company. There's a lot of other people right now getting laid off. The jobs today, it's not the same it was 5, 8, 10 years ago. Things are changing, and the salaries are actually going down. They said the economy is improving, but it's only really improving on secondary jobs, not the full-time, long-term jobs with pensions and 401ks. Everything's a little bit changing right now, and that's going to be a great segue to lead into the 401k. Go ahead.
Wonderful, wonderful. But that last third thing about corporate America is hurting. We are seeing extreme conditions, unlike anything we have experienced before, just about everywhere we look. And if our businesses are not making money and they're not producing anything or manufacturing anything, it's going to eventually, like you said, begin to hurt the employees, because there aren't going to be enough jobs. Everyone's going to be vying for a job. And I think even on one of the programs, Wall Street, we mentioned that for today, in order to make a living and be able to house yourself, feed yourself, clothe yourself, you're going to have to work a full-time job and maybe 2 part-time jobs. That's what it looks like today. So when we don't make enough and produce enough, it hurts the employees, and the employees go home to families, and it hurts the families. So what should we do then? Well, again, like I said, next slide. This is just our recommendation, my recommendation. I think it may be time to downsize the home. And there's been a whole host of shows out there that talks about tiny house living. I think they're the cutest little things. And I would love to have a tiny house. I truly would. But you may want to look at buying a tiny house or downsizing to an RV, because a tiny house, I believe, is about 400 square feet and below. And people have been able to build a 180 square foot tiny house and live just as comfortably in it. But, you know, if it's not a tiny house, then look at an RV, because when you open up those slides on an RV, it's about 320 square feet, depending on the length of your RV. Or look at downsizing to an apartment. Get rid of that house or rent that house out and then get back on sure footing by moving into an apartment, or refinance the house if you can. You can also move back home with your parents or, you know, with other family members. And I got to be real honest, and I don't think my son will have anything negative to say about me exposing his business like this. But, you know, I told him when I saw the flux in the economy and the direction that we were moving in, I know you love your privacy. I know you love your freedom. But if you could just do me this one thing for now, just for 1 year, come back home. Save every dollar you make, and then when you go back out there into your living, that you can purchase a house with a sizable down payment or pay one off in full. That's the only thing that I ask you to do, is just come home and save your dollars. And he did that. You know, he has been my first client since I've gotten into financial management, and he knows his stuff, and he trusts me. And so I'm talking to the parents out there. You may not like it, but believe me, home is the safest place for your child to be, your young adult child, until this economy settles.
That is great advice.
So next slide, please. Let's say it may be time to keep the car. Oh, my gosh, we spend so much money on our cars, on our vehicles, on our toys, that we spend our paycheck just paying off these things. And for whatever reason, you want to keep up with the Joneses, you are the Joneses, or you just want a little bit of fun and relaxation and pleasure in your life, or you just thought that was a great deal. I mean, after all, the salesman said that, didn't he? And you believed him, or you didn't do your homework to figure out how much this is really going to cost you, because it's not just a note that you're making every month. It's also the insurance on that car that you're paying on, and the gas that you're putting in that car, and the parking that you have to pay for it, all the maintenance keeping. Wouldn't it be a great idea, until the economy settles, to not purchase a new car unless you extremely have to do it because you're constantly repairing the old one? Don't purchase a new car. You pay the last note on that car. Hang on to it for a year or two. I've hung on to my last car for about, I think, almost 10 years. Served me well. Geo Prism. Love them. And then finally get rid of it. But think about that. You know, you don't want to spend all your dollars in a car, paying for a car. And we've listed some other things that you can do to kind of curb that monthly payment, to walk and bike and take the subway, car joy ride, whatever it is, with somebody else. Just share the ride. That's it. Share the ride. Okay. It may be time to cut your utilities. And I got over here. There's this company called UMA, and I talked about this in my first season, 2014, that, you know, you don't have to pay these large bills on your telephone, your landline, $23 a month, or it turns into $80 a month and $120 a month, and you don't even know what you're paying for because they're franchise fees and all these other hidden fees. Get rid of that mess. Contact www.OOMA.com, and you can have a local line under $5 a month. No joke. I've had my phone with UMA, my home phone with UMA, for 3-4 years now, and all my bill is under $5 a month. And I get all the pleasures and all the functions of a local company being in my home. I get that through UMA as well. So I'm not missing anything at all. And then look at your cell phone carriers, because I put down here a website, myrateplan.com. And if you look at that, and put in some information that it asks you for, it will push out a report of all the carriers or cell phone companies that may give you a better plan than what you have today. I've seen one already. I'm going to call them. But next slide, please. It may be time to cut your medical. And I'm not saying cut out your medical, because we have issues with Obamacare, and we know that there are some people that do not have health or medical, and they need that coverage. So you do what's good and best for you. But you have to really take a look at your medical account to make sure that the bills are correct. You can negotiate on payment of your medical expenses. If that bill is too high and you can't pay for it, negotiate that thing down. You are the master and the boss of your house and your estate. You negotiate that thing down. As for generics, not these designer drugs out there, pay into your health care account. That's pre-tax dollars that you don't have to pay for, and it will give you all the other types of cares that your medical care will not give you. You may not want traditional treatment. You may want something that is alternative. Well, you can't get alternative with your medical, but if you pay into your HSA and your FSA, then you can get exactly what you're looking for. So there are some other things up there that we have covered. But also, it may be the best time to save. You see these little packets right here? I mentioned early on that you say that I don't have any money to save. You know, I'm just trying to pay the bills. Well, these little packets right here that's marked $5 quarters, $3 dimes, 51 pennies, and 95 cents in nickels. These coins came out the bottom of my purse. So my husband is asking me, why is this purse so heavy? Well, I don't know. And one day I cleaned it out, and there they are, sitting at the bottom of my purse. It was almost $10 here, right? I could go and do something with it. It may not be put it in an account somewhere. It could be put it towards another bill, or just keep it around the house so that I have some available money.
So let's talk about the solo 401k. All right, so the solo 401k is very, very powerful as an instrument for your future and also for you right now. This is something that you have complete control of what's going on, okay? Complete control. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about checkbook control. You are the approving authority of what's going on. You are the approving authority. So if you get in here and you say, man, you're talking about, saving some money, putting some money aside for your future, and also for right now, let's say you're making $50 extra a month. You find $50 a month, you want to put in your 401k, you can do that, and you can throw it into your own solo 401k company, your own company. You're going to create your own company. It could be your sole proprietorship, which means you're using it under your name, or you use it as an LLC, or as a C corporation or S corporation, okay, that you create yourself. Now, as you start to put money into this account, you go to any bank you want. You can put money into that account. It's IRS approved. And what happens is, as you start to build this account up, you're going to get two accounts. You're going to have one for the traditional side of it, and you're going to have one part of it that's going to be for the Roth component of what's going on. So let's break that down real quick. How much money can you put in this account each year, basically until age 70 and a half or beyond? And there's certain rules to this. So I'm going to share the first thing is, okay, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner that have no employees or an employee that you have with you that works less than 1,000 hours a year, you can still get this done, okay? So what happens is this. You are allowed to put in $53,000 a year into your own solo 401k plan, and that's broken down into two components. $35,000 goes into your traditional side, $18,000 goes to your Roth component. Together, that's $53,000. If you're 49 and below, if you are 50 and above, you can bring in a total of $6,000 more dollars, so you can do $59,000. Okay, and if you and your wife are doing this, or I'm sorry, if you and your spouse are doing this together, right? Doing it together, you can double those numbers. So, for example, a family, two partners together, family, they can do $106,000 if they're 49 and younger, or $124,000 if they are 50 and above. Now, those numbers is crazy. That's per year, okay? That is per year. Now, if you had $100,000 in your account, you can write yourself a loan for 50% of the monies in your account. In other words, you can bring out $50,000 maximum every year from that account as a personal loan to yourself. Who's the approving authority? You are. You can write the check. You sign your name. You make your loan agreement. You pay the money back if you want to into your account as you're growing. As you're going into that loan, you're paying yourself back 8%, 10%, whatever the standard is at that time. You're paying the money back on your own standard, your own schedule. And what's happening is you're building that account back up. Now, what can I use my solo 401k plan for? You could use it for anything you wish when it comes to business. Anything personal, you have to do a loan to yourself and then do it. But anything for business, you can actually use and write the check out from your solo 401k straight to purchase the property, for example. Let's say you want to get into real estate. You say, you know what? I'm going to buy this house. I got $100,000 sitting in my account, and I want to buy this house for $25,000, $30,000, $40,000. I'm going to use that money to fix it up. I'm going to go ahead and purchase the property, and then I'm going to either rehab the property, I'm going to flip the property, or I get rents on the property. Either, no matter what I do with it, those rents, the money that comes back to my account, those capital gains, depending on the account side, the side you do it on, if you did it on a traditional side, those capital gains are delayed for future use, way out in the future. So you got to start pulling money out of the 401k, which is on like 70 and a half years old. If you did it on the Roth component side of the house, there's no capital gains you got to worry about. There's no, it's all tax-free, 100% tax-free, and you're not paying future gains or capital gains in the future from that account. I want you to really think about what I just said. You could build those accounts up to millions and millions of dollars, and if you did it in the Roth component side, it's completely tax-free because it's using after-tax dollars. It's called the Roth component side of the solo 401k. If you do it on a traditional side, you don't start paying any kind of capital gains whatsoever until you start pulling money out of the 401k, which at the age of 70 and a half. That's when you have to start pulling money out. That's by the IRS laws, okay? So that's one of the benefits you can do with a 401k. You can also purchase gold. There's certain golds you can purchase in your 401k that you are getting control of. Not storing it somewhere. You can actually get the gold, physical gold, and store it in your safe deposit box. You can purchase land. You can purchase other businesses. You could do venture capitalists. You could do anything that you can do with business right now. You can do that through your 401k. Now, the cool thing about the 401k is you cannot be sued upon it. So if somebody tries to sue you, your 401k is protected. Nobody can capture your 401k. You got it? Even if you're being sued, they cannot get your 401k. That is huge, guys. Huge. That is money that you can use today and start building on it today and also in the future. So it's definitely that component that you can really build, and you got so much you can put in there every single year. There's more to learn from this, but that's just part of it. Now, what would a solo 401k cost? Because you just can't create this by yourself. It has to be IRS approved. You got certain letters that goes in. So there are companies out there that's going to charge between $1,500, $1,700 to $2,500 to set up your 401k. I have a connection that we can get it done for $585, and you probably can get a little bit cheaper than that. So that's the benefit of starting your 401k. Now, the cool thing about it is guys, you can set this 401k up at any place, any bank you want to around the country. It doesn't have to be in your home state. You can set a company up in any state of the union, all 50 states. You can set a company up overseas. You got it? So you're not limited to this foundation, this in the United States. You can do this from anywhere in the world that you want to get it done. You're not restricted on where you actually live. Now, people say, well, why would you do that? Well, depending on your state of economy, what's going on in the world today, you may not want to have all your money sitting in a United States bank, right? You may want to have euros. You may want to have some other funds other places. And it's just being smart. I'm not trying to be I'm educating you how to be a smart investor, okay? So that's one of the components that you want to do when it comes to your 401k. The 401k is a powerful instrument to help you build your cash flow, not just for the day, but for the rest of your life. Now, let's talk about entrepreneurs. Talk about especially multi-level marketers, affiliate marketers. There's so many people in network marketing that the report is crazy. 96% of the people, let's say 95% of all network marketers are not making money. In other words, wow, they're spending more money in buying the product, doing all the stuff, and they're not making money. They just did a study on CNN and some other places where they were showing people, especially on Vice, they were showing this on Vice also, they were showing people in Mary Kay, not just Mary Kay, but I'm talking about all kind of companies, Mary Kay, Herbalife. You know, the big thing right now with Herbalife is that they're talking about so many distributors are purchasing this stuff month to month and not making any money, so they're losing money. And these are coming from the actual reports of the companies. So, and it's all the companies. There's not one company that has a different report. Most network marketing companies, their members are not making money within that company. And it's a lot of reasons for that. It could be the person's been taught old strategies, face-to-face strategies. They being taught to make hotel meetings, go house parties, and that stuff for a lot of people is not working, while on the other side, they're learning how to use the internet to make money, right? So It depends on who's teaching you and why they're teaching you that way when there's some other different ways for you to do it. See, we live in an age now, it's called the information age. So your information age is you can create cash flow through the internet from around the world if your company is global. If you only have a United States company, then you're limiting yourself, but you still can make a lot of money within that company. Okay, now let's talk about this. So if you're getting all these products, and then you got these jumpers that jump from one company to the next company, to the next company, and we call those things shiny objects. It's a brand new program coming out. It's a brand new this coming out, brand new something coming out. I'm talking to you as a network marketer, and I'm going to say this to you. If you slow down a little bit and all the money that you would spend to join that company, why not save that money, start a 401k, and then take that money and start throwing it into your investment account and start to bring in investment. Let me give you an example a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about putting money in the stock market that you're going to control your brokerage account. You're going to learn this within our system, and you're going to learn how to pick your own stocks that you want to own. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want Apple. Your iPhone is just rocking iWatch, right? The watch, the Apple phone, the iPhone, the Apple Watch, all these other different things. Now you got Google coming out with their own phone. So you got companies that's been around for years, stable, and they are making money. And here's the beauty of it. They paying dividends. Now, for some of you, you don't know what a dividend is. So what's a dividend? A dividend is money that comes to you based on how many shares you own of that company. Mm-hmm. Now, we're talking about long-term investment. That cash flow is coming in. It's going to go into your 401k trust account within that brokerage account, and it means it's tax-free. It's tax-delayed. If it's in a traditional account, you're going to have two accounts minimum. You're going to have a traditional side of the account, and you're going to have a Roth component of that account. Mm-hmm. And so what happens, as the money is coming in from the dividends, so the first thing you want to do is buy some stock. Let's say you raise enough cash flow from your 401k, from the pennies that you were saving, from the shiny objects that you didn't buy, and you decide to put it into this, the 401k plan. If you just look back, I just want all of the network marketers out there in the world to look back over the last 3 years, not even 5 years, just the last 3 years. How many programs have you been in? How much cash flow have you sent to somebody else to benefit off your sweat equity?
That's right.
Now, what does that mean, sweat equity? That means you went working at a job somewhere or meetings or all these different things, and you have given up all this money, and then you look up, you have nothing from it, and then you move to another company. And then you did the same thing again. You joined that company, you purchased some of these products, this training, all this other stuff you did before, and then you didn't do anything with it. You didn't really get the training you wanted. You're still teaching the old stuff, and you're really not moving forward. And then you decide to join another company, thinking it's going to be better. And when it all boils down to it, you probably spent $5,000 by the products, the stuff you purchased. There are horror stories that people spent $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 and got nothing to show for it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay, so if that's the case, and that's in the past, now let's look toward the future. If you take this information I'm passing on you today, and you had saved $5,000 instead of going to shiny objects, and you took that same money and put it into your solo 401k plan, and you own stock, you have stock in your account. It's not in your name, it's in your 401k name. Whatever the name is, your trust name is, whatever that name is, it's in that name, but you control it. That is part of your money. That's part of your entitlement. That is your stuff that you can transfer to your children, that you could transfer to your beneficiary, whoever that beneficiary is, and it's cash flow that's going to be generated. And by you doing the same actions all the time, putting that money in, all of a sudden you got 100 shares of stock, and that stock is optionable. For example, let's say you own 100 shares of Apple, and Apple went to $119, and all of a sudden I start teaching you a technique that, hey, guys, I'm seeing Apple is starting to do a retrace. Let's sell some options premium on that and bring in the money to your account instantly, renting out your stocks just like you rent out your house. Wow. And the cash flow went into your account. The instant you press the button, let me say that one more time. It's not like you're waiting on this cash flow. As soon as I press the button, the instant I press the button, the money is in my account. Wow. That is powerful. And if it goes against you, you may sell 100 shares of your stock. But guess what? They're going to pay you for the 100 shares of stock plus the money they just gave you.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. So these techniques, guys, that you can learn, that we can teach you, and how to start trading in the FX market, how to start putting more cash flow in your solo 401k, how you can start taking control of your cash flow, because you don't know what's going to happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now, right? You don't have to be aggressive. Right. This is not an aggressive approach in the market. You're buying stock that's in your 401k, and then you're going to take this money and let it grow. And then the more stock you own in that company, and if it's a dividend-paying company, they're going to pay you extra money just for owning the actual stock. You don't care if it goes up and goes down, right? But we're going to teach you within our system that, okay, guys, we are seeing signs of danger. Danger, danger, danger. Risk is off. Signs of danger. All I want you to do is convert your stock and just go ahead and take some off, right? Or write some puts on it to protect the downside. Well, you definitely won't be a part of that scenario in 2007 where people had $2 million, $1 million in their account. And then by June of 2008, their accounts was 50% lower. Because why? Because all they did, the brokers who you paid money to manage your accounts, all they did was a salesperson. They didn't do the trading. They don't even care about your account. They got paid to manage your money at 100%. You got all the risk. 100% of the risk is on you. You paid them money to manage your account, and did they do a good job for you? Answer that question.
No.
Did your broker do a good job for you?
No.
No, of course not, right? Of course not. So if that's the case, then all you need is some education to learn how to be your own broker. That's why it's called the solo 401k, because I control my account. I can lose money all by myself. I don't need your help. That's
So Gary, let me break in here for a minute and ask a couple of questions.
Yes.
Because you said that I can go and open up this solo 401k account at any bank, and I will assume that you mean credit union and saving facility, things like that, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and then
once you have the document, yes, you can go to the bank and say, hey, I'm ready to open my solo 401k trust account. Here's the name of it. Please set up my account. They're gonna say, here's your checkbook. Have a great day.
Now, then, are the banks, if the banks are aware of this, then when I'm walking into the bank to open up a business account, because I am in business for myself, why are they not pitching this solo 401k to me?
Because they don't want you to. First of all, let me explain something to you. A lot of banks don't even know that this even exists. It does exist, but a lot of banks don't know because every day you don't have everyday people walking to the bank and says, hey, I need to open up a solo 401k. They're going to say, well, what is that? They don't know what to do. So they're going to have to call their corporate offices to find out, oh, yeah, this is what you do. This is how you set the profile. This is what you got to do. Some bankers, since they don't know and they've been there for years and they'll tell you all these different stories, well, you need to go do this, you need to do that. It says, no, you don't. You don't need to do that. Please, can you contact your higher office so they can explain to you how to set up my account? And some of them are going to give you some resistance because they think they know because they've been in banking all these years, but people just don't walk in there every day and say, hey, I want a solo 401k plan set up. They don't know. But, yes, you can go to any bank and get this set up, okay? And it's your flow-through account. Now, you're not going to make money on that account like a traditional 401k. You are managing your own account, not the bank. The bank is not going to invest for you. You're going to do your own investing. That's the purpose of why you want to do the 401k. So you're going to learn about creating your own mutual fund, creating the stocks that you want in your mutual fund, right? You don't have to have overseas stuff in your account if you don't want to. You don't have to have a mutual fund per se. You can just say, hey, I want the SPX, I want the QQQs. That's the NASDAQ. I want the SPX, which is the United States stock market, right? The S&P 500. And then I want some of these other stocks in my portfolio. Boom, 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 boom. And that's it. And you invest in those stocks as much as you want into those stocks. You see? That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. So and then when the signs show up and says, hey, Wall Street, I'm seeing these different things right here. And we could talk about it and say, you know what? I'm not giving you advice. I'm just going to share some information with you on the way I see it. I'm not a broker. I'm not a broker, but I'm a trainer. I'm going to teach you what to look for. Hey, this is breaking. If this breaks the 50-period moving average or the 200-period moving average, for example, on this weekly chart, it's time for you to exit your trade. Take some money off the top, right? You already got some puts on by that time. Take some money off the top, take some of your stock, turn them into cash again, and just wait. You don't have to be fully invested into the marketplace. That's another myth that people do. They just watching, they like a deer in headlights. The stock market going down, plummeting. Here's $1 million. Tomorrow is 800,000. The next day, 700,000. Next month, 700,000. Next month, 600,000. Next month, 500. You looked at your account go from $1 million down to $500,000 before you said anything. Then you call your broker, and this is what your broker's saying. Well, you know, if you just leave it in, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
They don't. Well, you should have checked that out before it started breaking a certain period, you know, a certain point. Or what is my other alternatives that I can do? Can I buy some puts? You know? No, they didn't even tell them none of that. They just let that account drop, and then people look at their statement, and they just like, I don't know what to do. I just lost my entire retirement. What do I do? Instead of you having them deer in the headlights, now I provide a service to teach you how to learn to trade, to look at certain instruments out there, to have alternatives of what to do. Right? I'm not rich. Right. I'm not rich, but I do have the education to teach you. I can teach you. And a lot more probably, and here's the surprising thing on it. You believe that your broker know how to trade. You say, well, I'm going to call my broker up, and you think because they got this license, they know how to trade. I promise you, most of them brokers have never put a trade on. They're salesmen. They are salesmen. Period. Wow. They work for the company. Hey, make sure they buy this right here. Make sure they buy this right here. Make sure you steer them to this right here. Because that's what the broker houses are doing. They're getting people to give them money so they can purchase more stock for this company that's trying to get them to purchase a stock. That's what's really going on, guys.
Wow. Well, okay, so let me ask a question for the millennials out there. And the question is, you mentioned that you can set this up from any bank at anywhere in the world, any country whatsoever.
Yes.
To set up. Are you talking about not going to a brick and mortar per se, but if I wanted to set it up, I can do online banking?
Absolutely.
That has no brick and mortars at all?
For example, like USAA, they have no online brick and mortar place, right? USAA is a bank that doesn't have a brick and mortar location. They may be working on one now, but yeah, you can get one done. You can actually get that done.
Okay, all right. And I'm assuming all that's through online faxing and scanning and email, and I can be set up and ready to go.
Well, you're gonna have to send them the documents first. Let's put it like this. You're gonna have to send them the document, right? First thing you gotta make sure is they understand that you are not creating a 401k with that bank. You are creating a flow through account with a trust, a solo 401k trust. That's what you have. That means I don't want you to do anything for this account except set up the actual account profile. That's it. Give me my account numbers, and I take it from there. I'm not investing with the bank. That's what you'll learn about that once you become a part of our system to learn how to do this. Guys, look, listen. Let me explain it to you. So, helponeup.net is the website. Okay, helponeup.net is the website. Massive Leverage System is the actual system that we call ourselves. MLS, the Massive Leverage System. The key word in there is leverage. We teach you how to leverage your cash flow to create a massive cash flow system. And that's going to come with 401ks, get into the stock market that you're going to actually do yourself. You're going to learn how to trade yourself. It's going to teach you how to set up your NLM company or, acquire how to do marketing to build extra cash flow. We're going to show you how to leverage money from a small ticket item for like $150 all the way to $30,000. High ticket item. So we have things in there to teach you how to create cash flow, build on that cash flow, and diversify that cash flow on different things that happens to include cryptocurrency.
All right.
So the cool thing about what we're doing, guys, is that the solo 401k is just one component of what we teach you to do. And the solo 401k plan is so powerful, guys, that one thing can literally speed up your cash flow literally by leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. And there's so many people out there right now that can actually start putting money into that system if they keep their mindset open and slow down on jumping all these different companies that pops up and all this so-called training that pops up and buying this new package and buying this new package. Just look at your last 3 years and ask yourself a serious question. How much money have I spent on all this education, and where am I today?
That's right. Oh, that's
your
right.
start.
So just one quick question, because we only have a few minutes and we have to wrap this up. What is the bare minimum that anyone can open up a solo 401k account?
You can really open up a 401k account with $100, right? But see, what's going to happen is it's going to start charging you fees. So if you're not sliding money over there a lot faster, then I recommend you start with $1,000, $500 in each account. Remember, you got two accounts. One is traditional, and one is the Roth component. So you're going to put $500 in one, $500 in the other one, and as you start to build up that cash flow, you just keep shifting that cash flow over, and now start shifting that money into, that's for emergencies, right? And then you start shifting some of that money over into your stock component, your brokerage account, so you can start buying stock that you want.
Okay. All right. This sounds good. So, Mike, we've got a slide of our information. We definitely want everyone to contact us because we're moving into the investment part of our series. And so we're going to come back next month and give you some more information. There will be some of you that will be able to invest at a smaller level, and you want to check out your stocks and make sure that the companies that you want to purchase in are solid, or they're going to be long-term companies. You know, you want to look at what should you be purchasing in. I'll give you one thing that someone spoke to me about. You know, if something should happen with the economy, invest in batteries. You know, if the lights go out, invest in batteries, because there are going to be companies out there still with manufacturing those batteries. Invest in toilet paper. You're definitely going to need that. And so we're going to help you look at the different companies and make sound decisions. But for right now, we have our contact information, and I definitely want you to get in contact with us on social media or directly through our website. And Wall Street, do you have any closing comments?
Guys, do not be afraid to invest, to learn, to start connecting. A lot of people are scared about their own money. I will tell you, stop being scared. It's your money. It's your money. It's not the brokerage money. It's your money, your account. If you need to take control of it, do what you got to do. All right, guys, that's my last talk.
All right. Okay. So, you know, we're going to be coming back next week with social health. And I have to say this, as long as there are riots in the streets, I want to protect my broadcasters. So we will probably broadcast remote until after the inauguration, and then we'll be back in the studio again. But until then, I want you to be safe, be smart, and be healthy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can, and I wear my hair like this because I can, and I walk around like this because I can, and I do my thing like this because it's who I am. And if you expect me to give you an apology for being nothing that you're used to, that means I'm all. When I dance to the beat of a drummer you don't hear and you can't see. So if I look offbeat to you, well, the problem must be you, not me. Irregular but never irrelevant, unusual but never uncool. You're not cut from my clothes, you don't get me, well, I don't get you. Either a believer of the fact that unique equals love. So if I'm going too fast for you, open your mind and speed up.